Chromatography for Cambridge IGCSE Chemistry. You firstly need to be able to interpret chromatograms, then interpret the use of reference materials in chromatograms, the purpose of a locating agent and the use of a locating agent, and then what is meant by retention factor, RF values, and how are they used. Chromatography can be used to separate mixtures of colored soluble substances, that is, solutes. The setup, you take a chromatography paper and draw a pencil line around 1 centimeter from the end. You then place the chromatography paper in a tank, chromatography tank, which contains a solvent. A lid is placed on the chromatography tank to prevent the evaporation of the solvent. The solvent rises up the chromatography paper. Point at which the solvent reaches is called the solvent front, and we generally stop the formation of a chromatogram when the solvent front reaches near to the top of the chromatography paper. For the analysis of a mixture of soluble colored substances, we form a concentrated spot of the solution on the pencil line. We place the chromatography paper in the chromatography tank with the solvent, making sure that the level of the solvent is below the level of the pencil line and the spot. Now, the choice of solvent, the solutes must be soluble in the solvent. For if the chromatogram is to develop, as the solvent rises, it must carry the solutes with it. And we find that different solutes are carried at different speeds. So a developed chromatogram will look like this. An original black ink spot, for example, separates into 3 different colored solutes. You remove the chromatography paper when the solvent front nears the top of the strip. From this, we interpret the chromatogram as meaning that the original black ink or black solution is a mixture of 3 different solutes, each of which traveled at different speeds with the solvent as it rose to form the solvent front. What does a chromatogram like this mean in terms of the original solution that was spotted on the pencil line? Think it through. It means the original solution on the pencil line was a pure substance. That is, the one spot has remained as one spot. There's been no separation. In other words, there's just the one solute. It is a pure substance. Using reference materials. These are known pure substances which are spotted on the pencil line and labeled. For instance, we know reference material 1, R1, we spot it on the pencil line. Reference material 2, R2, we know these are pure materials and we spot them on the pencil line. We then put unknowns A and B alongside them. We allow the chromatogram to develop. We'll see that R1 rises or travels a certain distance. It tells us that one of the solutes in A contained R1 or was R1. It tells us that the second solute in A, so first of all, A consists of 2 solutes. The second solute corresponds to this, or has traveled the same distance as R2, reference material 2, and therefore is reference material 2. So A consists of R1 and R2. What can you say about the unknown solution B? Stop, think it through, come back to check. Okay, well, B does contain R1 and contains a second solute, but we don't know what it is. It isn't R2 and it isn't R1. It isn't R2 and it isn't R1, but it is a second solute. So B is R1 and some unknown solute, whereas A is a mixture of reference material 1 and reference material 2. Chromatograms are easy to interpret provided the substances, the solutes, have color. But what if no colored solutes emerge, for instance, in this example? We set up a concentrated spot, we allow the solvent to rise, and yet no colored spots arise. Well, in that case, we spray with a locating agent, and then we leave for some time to allow the spots to develop. The locating agent will evaporate and leave us behind a developed chromatogram, which we then interpret in the normal way. Solutes can also be identified by comparing the distance they travel to the distance traveled by the solvent in the chromatogram, producing a value called the retention factor. So if we look at this developed chromatogram, we'll see there's a distance between the original baseline and the center of the solute spot. Now, if we compare that to the distance traveled by the solvent, that is the distance from the baseline to the solvent front, and we divide the baseline to solute by baseline to solvent front, in other words, on my diagram, A divided by B, we get a number, the RF value, the retention factor. This will always be less than 1, but we can calculate it and compare it to a database which will allow us to identify the solute, because provided that we have the same temperature, the same solvent, and the same chromatography paper or TLC plate, then the value of the RF for a particular solute will always be the same. So I would recommend that you carry out one calculation before moving on. So here is a chromatogram with one solute. The distance from baseline to solute spot and the distance from baseline to solvent front are made for you, or measurements are made for you. Calculate the retention factor for this solute. Stop, come back to check your answer. Okay, so we divide the baseline to solute spot by baseline to solvent front, comes out as 0.818. Please note, RF values are always less than 1. Therefore, a little exam tip, just bear that in mind, because in an exam you can, of course, get that upside down. It's always got to come up with a number that is less than 1. Okay, you then obviously refer to a database, and provided all other factors are kept the same, you can identify the solute. Well done for finishing the class. If you need more practice, use textbook questions and then past paper questions. Keep to that order. If you want more classes, look at the course list and links in the video description. If you found the class helpful, please recommend it to a friend. Subscribe for new classes, online assessment opportunities, and exam tips. Please like, and comments are always appreciated. Thank you for watching.